everyone, John Schaefer Multimedia here. Wanted to make a video going through the steps of using compushow by Elation software to program your lighting. Now, the reason I wanted to do this, there's not, as I found, a whole lot of information out there on the internet that explains how to use this program starting from your simplest point A, and moving on from there. I found a lot of instructional videos that kind of delves in at certain points where things are already set up and assumes, it would seem, that that folks already are underway with it. But wanted to again make a video that gets you going from point A, takes you through, and you're running lighting cues and scenes. So with that, we'll get started.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is open up our compushow program. And I already have these shows here, obviously, but let's just, for the instructional video, we'll make a new show and titled it Instructional 2, because I already have another instructional in there. So Instructional 2, you're highlighted, click OK. So you open up, and at this point, obviously, blank. There's nothing going on. What's different about this program is you won't see anything that says address instruments or anything of that nature. What you're going to do is go to Page, click into New Page. So then you're going to get your library of instruments, and you're going to choose the lighting you have. In my case, for the video, I'm using two Chauvet Intimidator Spot 150s and two Blizzard washes. I already have them addressed on the instruments to where I want them. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to find Chauvet. Went way too far. Chauvet. Wherever you might be, Chauvet. There they go. All right, and then I'm going to find my Intimidator LED Spot 150s. I'm in 11 channel mode. Click Next. I have two instruments, and I hit Patch. So again, if your instruments are patched correctly and they're lining up, then that should be good. This is important. You're going to want to enable this. This gives you exactly what it says here: limit the pan tilt amplitude. So what that means is it's going to give you the option to, when you're using macros and your lights are spinning around and things like that, limit to where they're hitting so that they're not going places that you don't want them to go. All right, and click Next. I like to show the light beam. It seems important. Next. I have a template page where I've set up my instruments. It all loads the instruments that I have at the same time, and everything's always addressed the same, blah, blah, blah. And I've programmed them so that they have icons that look like the instruments and all that. Cool function, takes a while. We're not going to do that here. We're just going to click finish. All right, and there's my control for the Intimidators. Okay, we'll create another new page. We'll go down and find the blizzards. And RGBW. We're also on 11 channels on that, so we're good to go. Okay, there we go, and we've got 2 channels. Patch. Next, of course, we want to enable the amplitude. Next, I'd like to show the light beam. Next. There we go. So you've got your controls for your 4 instruments. So we'll start with the Intimidators, and we're going to go ahead and make our first scene. I'm going to turn the shutter on. I've got light. I'm going to come over here, going to select the first light. I'm going to move that to where I want. Looks good for the instructional purposes. Choose my second light, move that to where I want. And then let's say we'll make these blue. Okay, now they're blue. Okay, and we'll choose the blades, bring them over here. Shutter. So this is a funny thing about this blade instrument, and I've noticed all lights have their little squirrely things, so it doesn't come on with the shutter. So I come down here and I get them strobing and then go to static, and then the light's on. So whatever. Okay, so light beam's on. Come over here. What's this? It's a color wheel. Where's my positioning? Not a big deal. The XY is down here. The reason that you have this option showing up is because it's a color mixing light. It's a wash, so that you can choose your colors there. But we need to position them, so we're going to click on XY right down here. Choose the first position. We're going to position those lights. Okay, so we'll call that scene 1. So we're going to click into button, and we're going to want to make a new scene right here. However, this is probably the most important thing I will tell you about this instructional video. If you're highlighted on the last instrument that you used, and you go to create new scene, it will create a new scene for you, and that's fine, but it will create a scene only for those lighting instruments that you're highlighted on. It won't keep positions for all the other instruments. So you're going to want to make sure that you are highlighted on your master page, that you see the initialized home position, and you're on the master page. So now that we're on that, we will click new scene. You see this option, as you see now, has everything that the lighting the lights are doing, and you have your scene up here. On my end, another squirrely thing that I've found is if I try to click in here and name the scenes as I'm going along, things get funny for some reason. So I just keep moving along. I let it name the scenes for me. So this is going to be scene. I'm going to click OK on our next scene that we set up. It'll name scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, so on. You can rename the scenes afterwards, and that's what I like doing anyhow. You can put more thought into what you're going to call the scene after you see what the lights are doing and all that. So that's what I do. So anyway, if you're on As You See Now, you're good. Click OK. And there's your first scene. Okay, so let's jump out of here. There's our Intimidators. All right, so let's move our Intimidators around with one of these macros here. Whenever I click in on these Intimidators, I change change something with them, and I go in, say, click that, what I just did. The light beam goes off for some reason. Why is that? I don't know, but let's turn the light beam back on. Let's keep it blue. Now we're spinning around. Close that out. Now if you get to something like this and you say, oh man, where's my instruments? What just happened? Now I need to adjust the blades, where'd they go? Just make sure that you're on your Pages tab. See? You also have the Fixtures tab. You'll have tabs down here if you're have options chosen up here. Okay, so you click into your fixtures. Now that's one way to do it, but it's a long way to do it. So make sure you're on your Pages tab. This is a viewing icon for your master, for your instruments. So I want to adjust the blades now, so I'm going to click into the blades. And let's move the blades around. Boom, and let's make them strobe. Awesome. All right, so there's another scene for us. We're going to make sure that we're on master. Whoops. About created a new page. I don't want to do that. New scene. We're not seeing the big master page here, but it's you know what? Let me just let me make sure that there. Okay, so we're going to create a new scene. As you see now, see here it's naming scene 1. So we've got scene and now scene 1. Click OK, and now we've got scene 1. So if we've done everything correctly, now we should have a home position, which is initialize, a scene, which is the first static scene that we made, and scene 1, and our lights are moving. And that's it. Essentially, I mean, the program is much more deep, and there's a whole lot more things you can do with it that we're not going to get into here. But you're off to the races now. You're creating scenes, and from here on, you can build upon what you've already done. So if these scenes are moving around and then you want to make new instruments strobe or whatever and keep titling scenes, and you move on. So now you want to rename these scenes, though, so that you can keep better track of them. So we've got the initialize home. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm just going to leave that initialized. Our first scene is static scene. Nothing's moving around. It's just in one position. So let's click on that. Come up here to rename. And we will call this static 1. All right, now that is static 1. We'll come down here to scene 2. Rename that, and we'll just call that moving 1. And now that is moving 1. And like I said, you just keep going from there. A lot of other things I could tell you here, and things that I don't know, because I've just started using the program, honestly, and there's a lot to it. I do have the MIDI-Con controller. I kind of have that set up with a template a little bit, but you know, you can get in here and you can, I know that you can group scenes and make them switches or cycles, things like that. There's an easy setup. There's a lot of stuff you can do, but again, for my purposes on the video, you know, we'll call it a day, and we'll stop here. So I hope this has helped everyone out, and good luck. John Schaefer, Schaefer Multimedia, signing off. Thank you.